I'm Debra Ness, president of the National Partnership for Women and Families, which is a nonprofit, nonpartisan advocacy group that's been working on issues important to women and families for almost 4 decades. I'm here today to testify in support of both the Healthy Families Act and the FIRST Act. Both of these pieces of legislation are tremendously important to working people across the country, especially at this time when working families are overwhelmed by the economic crises we're all grappling with. We urge Congress to waste no time in passing these bills. When workers are stretched so thin and job security is so tenuous, taking time off for either a serious medical condition like cancer or something simpler like the flu or just taking care of a sick child can lead to financial disaster for families. And that's because millions of workers have no job-protected paid time off, as Congresswoman DeLauro made so clear. While the Family and Medical Leave Act provides some workers with up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave, that law was only a first step. It does not cover all workers. It does not allow workers to take time off for short-term illnesses or routine medical care like mammograms or colonoscopies. And it provides only unpaid leave, which millions of workers cannot afford to take. It's time to take the next step in making this nation more family-friendly, and the sooner we act, the better off we will be. America needs a basic workplace standard that allows employees to earn paid sick days that they can use to recover from their own illness or to care for a sick family member. The Healthy Families Act would do that by letting workers at businesses with at least 15 employees earn up to 7 paid sick days a year. The recent H1N1 virus really drove home the need for this legislation. When news broke of a possible pandemic, public health officials and government leaders, from the president on down, said people with signs of illness should do the responsible thing, stay home from work and school. But unfortunately, not everybody was able to heed that good advice, not because they were irresponsible, but because nearly half of private sector workers and more than 3/4 of low-wage workers do not have a single paid sick day. For them, staying home when you're sick or have a sick child means losing part of your paycheck or even putting your job on the line. Today, the National Partnership is releasing new research that provides further evidence that paid sick days would also be good for the nation's public health. The study we commissioned from Human Impact Partners and the San Francisco Department of Public Health provides the evidence for what we all intuitively know. The Healthy Families Act would help us significantly reduce the spread of pandemic or seasonal flu by enabling workers to comply with public health advice if they or their family members show sign of illness. We'll hear more about this research in a few minutes, but with 1/3 of flu cases transmitted at schools or workplaces, the research shows that if we make it possible for people to stay home when they're infected, we can reduce the spread of a pandemic flu virus by up to 34%. The study finds that the Healthy Families Act would go a long way toward protecting the public from diseases carried by sick workers in restaurants, in hotels, in nursing homes, and would help people not get sicker, which leads to unnecessary hospitalizations and death. And I just want to drive home this fact. Only 15% of food service workers have paid sick days, and yet we know that half of stomach flu virus outbreaks are linked to ill food service workers. People think it's the food getting them sick. They're also getting sick from the workers who are sick, who are spreading their germs. While the Healthy Families Act is needed to address the day-to-day health needs of working families, the FIRST Act is also needed to help workers make ends meet when there's a longer-term illness or more serious illness by providing grants to states to develop and implement their own paid family and medical leave programs. When a serious personal or family medical crisis strikes, workers frequently have no choice but to take unpaid leave or quit their jobs. As a result, for many, an illness in the family or the birth of a child forces them into a serious downward economic spiral. Paid family and medical leave is essential to enable workers to care for themselves, their children, and increasingly, they're older family members. These workers are people like you and me, and I would bet that pretty much everybody in this room has or will at some point grapple with some of these problems. There are millions of working adults already who are providing support to older relatives, and this number is growing rapidly. And there's no question that the population is getting older, but the population that's living longer is also living sicker, with more chronic conditions and more complex care needs. And as a result, the caregiving challenges that our families face are enormous. And so as a nation, as employers, as workers, we need to face this reality. Within the next 5 years, half of the labor force will be caregivers for elder relatives. This is a 21st century problem, and we need 21st century solutions. And as a nation, we ignore the imperative to adopt these policies at our peril. So we all have the economy very much on our mind these days. I want to say that it is especially during these times that workers need these protections. And I'll end by saying that I'm here representing not just the National Partnership for Women and Families, but also the broad-based coalitions that are leading these efforts to help working families through enacting passage of both the Healthy Families Act and the FIRST Act. Thank you.